guys. This week's episode title is Battle Scars, which already reveals much and heavily implies the appearance of Rex.
Those droids wiped out a lot of Republic troopers. Many of them were my friends.
Rex has been through a lot. Battles leave scars. Some you can't see.
The episode starts with a space battle sequence, and it seems that the Bad Batch is going on some off-screen missions, working for Sid. They stole a lizard of some sort from Rokai. Now, I don't believe that name was ever mentioned before in Star Wars, so it seems that it is some sort of a new species or an organization, much like, Crimson Dawn, for example. I'm guessing the latter. Initially, I thought the lizard might be an... oh god, how do I pronounce this? Ysalamiri? The one Thrawn used in To the Empire novels, and it also appeared in Rebels. But I don't think so, since it looks rather different.
Get it off! Get it off! Get it off!
Stay calm, you're scaring her!
Get it off! Get it off! Get it off!
A mysterious figure occupies Sid's hangout. And it turns out to be none other than Rex.
Rex?
Oh, great.
Rex reveals to the Bad Batch how he faked his death and been keeping a low profile.
I guess you could say I've been keeping a low profile.
Very low. Imperial files have you listed as killed in action.
Being dead in the Empire's eyes has its advantages.
Rex tracked the Bad Batch thanks to Trace and Rafa, which I think sort of confirms that he was the one in the hologram seen in the previous episode. The hood that he wears also matches part of the silhouette that we saw. Still, this does not mean that Ahsoka is not involved, and I'm pretty much certain that she is, but more on that later. Omega identifies Rex as a first-generation clone. It was mentioned before that Rex actually fought in the Battle of Geonosis, which in turn implies that he was indeed part of the very first batch of clones, the ones we saw in Attack of the Clones.
Sir, I have 5 Special Commando units awaiting your order, sir.
To the forward command center, take me!
Omega seems to be very knowledgeable about clones. She knew about the inhibitor chips, how they operate, can spot things, such as clones being first generation. I mean, we did see her work closely with clones. I mean, not clones, Kaminoans? Many people seem to think that she's a force sensitive, but I don't think so. If they go down that route of, trying to fix the sequels. The comics are taking that route right now, the Vader comics. And if Omega turns out to be Rey's parent or whatever, god, I really don't want to see that happen. I don't think it will. I mean, we even know that Rey's father was the one who was an unsuccessful clone, I believe. But I digress, let's get back on track. Wrecker's headaches keep on getting worse, which really worries Rex, and he instantly gets very defensive. You can tell all that transpired took its toll on him, and he feels somewhat responsible for how he turned on Ahsoka.
Execute Order 66.
Yes, Lord Sidious. Rex, those chips make you a threat to everyone around you.
Rex?
No! I'll do it.
Rex, what's happening?
Stay back! I've seen what happens when the chip activates, and I don't want to bury any more of our brothers. Fight him! Trust me, it is not something you can control.
Hunter actually inquires about removing the chip, and this is where my previous theory regarding Rex is sort of confirmed. Now, the Bad Batch is heading to Bracca to meet with Rex. Bracca is a planet that was prominently featured in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The planet was utilized as a scrapyard for old Republic ships, possibly getting all the materials needed for new Imperial cruisers, such as the Imperial Star Destroyers. Before Fallen Order, Bracca appeared in Resistance Reborn novel, which is a tie-in to Rise of Skywalker, and the Scrappr guild that was introduced in that novel worked closely with the First Order. At the time of the Bad Batch, the Scrappr guild is hired by the Empire, and former Padawan Cal Kestis is hiding on Bracca. Possibly. Could be that Cal Kestis is on the planet at this very time, and it is also possible that he is somewhere else for now, and comes to Bracca at a later time. Cal is pretty much the same age as Kanan at this point. I was thinking we might even see him, but the thing is, it might make the galaxy feel somewhat small, if you will. Still, a brief cameo might have been cool to see. Perhaps it could still happen in the next episode, maybe? When the Bad Batch lands on the planet and meets up with Rex, we can see the same ship in the background that Rex used to escape with Ahsoka in the Clone Wars finale. Eventually they all get inside the cruiser, and Rex actually references Ahsoka, not revealing her identity, mind you, for obvious reasons.
If the inhibitor chip isn't something you can control, how'd you get yours out? I had help.
In Resistance Reborn novel that I mentioned before, there was this creature named Ibdis. It was only mentioned and we never actually got to see it, but I'm pretty sure that the monster we saw that almost ate Wrecker was in fact Ibdis. Ibdis was a superorganism that resembled a sarlacc and consisted of many mouths, with its digestive system being located below the surface of the planet, deep underground. That's one bad way to go. Eventually, Rex and the Bad Batch managed to find the medbay room that looks exactly as the one we saw in the Clone Wars. Omega is worried about the chip removal process, claiming it is extremely dangerous, but Rex counters that, stating that leaving the chips is even more dangerous. I fear this might have been a foreshadowing of what is to come, and that Omega will be the only one to survive, with the rest of the Bad Batch sacrificing themselves for her. When Rekka realizes that his chip is about to be removed, the chip programming kicks in for good, and the Bad Batch has to fight him. There is this touching, tragic moment between Omega and Rekka. Rekka is about to kill Omega, but Rex stuns him at the very last moment. This really illustrates in a perfect manner that clones were as much victims of Order 66 as the Jedi. Wrecker apologizes to Omega later on after his chip is removed, much like Rex apologized to Ahsoka. At the end of the episode, Rex contacts someone. Seems he's getting involved in some sort of rebellion. As of right now, there is no rebellion to speak of, and it only consists of individual cells that are yet to organize and work together. Still, there are a few groups out there that help those in need and fight the Empire as best they can. Saw's group being an example of that, though he is a bit of an extremist. And the Rebels, as we saw them in Rebels, the TV show, have not yet met, but other similar groups are possibly out there somewhere. In the Ahsoka novel, Ahsoka met with Bail Organa at one point. It was later down the line in the timeline of Star Wars, I believe, but they could easily be retconning that novel slightly. For example, altering the details on how exactly Ahsoka and Bail met. It seems likely to me that Rex and Ahsoka are helping out Bail at this very time. Rex mentions that the Republic is not yet fully gone. At least some of the people that stood for the values of the Republic are still around, such as Bail Organa. Rex notes that the Bad Batch would be a tremendous asset to the group that he is with, but Hunter is reluctant to join him for now, wanting to keep his squadron and Omega safe. Clearly, this was not the last we have seen of Rex, and I wouldn't be surprised if the next time we see him, it will be together with Ahsoka.
Intruders confirmed.
Jedi cruiser. Notify the Empire.
Oh, so I think this means that Crosshair is coming back, finally. The last time we saw Crosshair was in episode 3, so a while back, and I was wondering how long it would take to see him again and the Empire. Well, it seems we'll be getting a showdown on Bracca next episode. I think the next episode will fully focus on the confrontation between the Bad Batch and Crosshair/Empire. Two questions that arise are as follows. 1. Will the showdown occur on Bracca or a different planet, and the Bad Batch will escape from Bracca while being chased by the Empire? And 2. Will Rex be involved? Could be that at the end of the episode he is the one to save the Bad Batch from the Empire, along with someone else. Ahsoka? Bail? This in turn could spike the Empire's interest in hunting down rogue clones and their collaborators. We'll have to see how this all plays out next week. I for one cannot wait. May the Force be with you always.